hanging out with us last night.
All right.
Yeah.
Welcome everyone to the stream. We are going to be casting Unstable versus Pleb Horse Calvary tonight. This is a Division 3 game in Chair League.
Division 3, they're fighting for rank, man. One is 22 and one is 23 currently in the Division 3 standing. So neck and neck, winner pulls ahead.
And just so everyone is aware, we do have a 2-minute delay on stream, and we will be uploading the game or the VOD to YouTube afterwards.
Which you can find if you search for Heroes of the Frat.
Yes. It is twitch.tv/Heroes of the Frat for the Twitch channel, obviously. And it's just Heroes of the Frat for the YouTube. And we have a link to the YouTube through our Twitch.
So I do believe, Nick and Kyle, you have casted a game of Pleb Horse Cavalry before. Not sure if you recall anything perhaps from, but both teams are sitting at 2-2 in divisional standings, so a rather important game here for both teams, which should lead to a pretty exciting best of three.
Games where these are obviously somewhat closely skill-wise is always going to be more fun to watch, and so I'm super excited.
Absolutely, and I'm excited that it's starting at Dragonshire.
So the teams are ready, so we're going to go ahead and get into the draft. Let's get this started.
Dragonshire.
So how do you guys feel about Dragonshire? What should the teams be looking for here?
I think the 4-1 compositions work really well on Dragonshire, possibly with a global to be able to get up to that top lane efficiently, to maybe grab a quick kill if the other team is overextended. It's one of the comps I prefer on this map, personally. I think with mid and bottom lane being pretty easy to rotate through, it's definitely a viable option.
Global is definitely a priority here. Dahaka pick is really strong. Falsehood pick is really strong. And we see a first ban on Ragnaros.
Yeah, Sulfur Smash is still nothing to shake your head at.
I think Ragnaros' trait is very powerful on this map. I mean, it's not the largest map in the map pool, and his trait can hit a very large area. So some solid zoning, some solid saving, some keeps. Good ban overall.
Nick, so forgive me. I'm not up to speed. Do we know what team is what here currently banning out?
Yeah, we have Unstable as the blue team on the left, and we have Pleb Horse
Perfect.
Calvary on the right as the red team.
Appreciate it.
We got a second ban on Dahaka, a very, very strong pick on this map. Not a surprising ban at all.
No, not at all. I think Dahaka is maybe one of the strongest globals on this map. There is so many bushes, so much shrubbery. You can really appear anywhere on this map at a blink of an eye.
Wonder what the first pick is going to be. A Malfurion pickup for Stable. Very solid first pick. He's probably the best healer right now. Even after the root nerf, they're still just so powerful for locking down heroes and securing those kills.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's probably more in the wheelhouse of a comfort pick to come out as first pick these days, which is not a bad thing at all. but there are a lot of strong healers out currently. But yeah, if you have anything to follow up the root, it is still extremely lethal. And between Twilight Dream for your mass silence or Tranquility, I mean, you can't get much better healing if you do go that Tranquility route for an AoE aspect.
I've not been seeing much Tranquility recently, though. I feel, Twilight Dream is a very solid pick.
Oh,
As
I completely agree.
wrecks
I
people.
completely agree.
We have a Vala Tassadar picked up. There's some synergy there between the life leech on shields and things like that with Tassadar and Vala, but not very meta.
No, you don't typically see the Tastar come out this early. So I'm curious to see where else they're going to build off of that Tastar pick. I think Vala is a very standard first pick. She just does so much damage right now. So that one to me is pretty standard. Curious to see where they build from with the Tastar pickup though.
Vala is very powerful right now. Probably one of my favorite DPSs. She can carry really hard if you just let her go. If you don't start picking her off, just so many viable builds too. It's very versatile.
All right, I do like the synergy combination of the ETC and Lei Ming picked up to couple the Malfurion first pick between root slide through. That's a lot of lockdown to allow Lei Ming to get some very serious damage out quickly.
And the Ming with the Malfurion, obviously, always a good synergy there between the keeping her high on mana. She doesn't have to worry about throwing out her abilities. She going and going and going, until she finally gets that kill, and then you get that kill and that chain ends the game.
Yeah, it's definitely playing towards that Lei Ming combo wombo is going to be a source of concern for the red team here. Luckily, that Tassadar, that the quick shield to be able to put down may help fight that. So we'll see. Not surprised to see the Varian band out here, knowing that they are building towards more of a shield team. Got to get rid of that shield breaker. So not too surprised about that one.
Varian, after his Warbringer nerf, not as strong as he used to be, but taunt is still just such a powerful heroic. You get a taunt on a Vala, and that Lei Ming is going to have a very easy time just wiping her off the board. The same thing for a Tassadar even. I mean, he's squishy if he can't use his escape.
Yeah. Hey, double or nothing. I do agree that the mouth ban opens up the global aspect. Perhaps they're not comfortable on that global aspect themselves between the ETC, Falstad, or Dahaka. So that may be something that they're building towards, and that's why they wanted to get rid of that Dahaka. So who knows?
See a Zarya ban.
Again, seeing the Varian ban come out, I'm not surprised to see them getting rid of that Zarya for the shield comp. It is something that if you're very good with Zarya, he can put out a lot of damage and be that extra lifeline in the time of need for a teammate. So I can agree with that, seeing that they banned out Varian and already have Tastar as well on the shield side.
But I agree that she's a very solid pick, but do you think that you don't think any of the other global heroes would have been powerful here? I mean, a Brightwing with a Tassadar that's not a bad pick right there. Brightwing's very good at solo laning if it needs to, and teleporting in.
Not at all. Not at all. I could completely agree with that. That could just fall into a little bit of the comfort zone for the team. What do you think about Sonya Artanis here getting picked up?
I personally think Sonya is just in a extremely powerful state right now. I love her. I mean, seeing Cody almost solo games with her right now, and
Yeah.
if Artanis can get the swaps, the Sonya Vala will have the damage to they can kill off squishies.
Yeah, it leads me to believe Vala may build towards the auto attack, getting rid of that mass blind by picking up Artanis themselves. Sonya being able to leap onto Lei Ming or Malfurion, especially with the whirlwind that it is right now. I mean, the sustain is incredible. So it's an interesting team comp so far, but I think if executed well, it could turn out very well.
The double specialist pickup in Zagara and Nazebo, they go from they have a pretty solid team fight in the beginning, and then now they own the pushing potential on this.
Yeah, I wonder if they're building more towards the trying to divide the red team here, making multiple lanes being pressured at the same time. A little surprised not to see a Sylvanas picked up if you're looking to do that. But Zagara and Nazebo are extremely powerful pushing, and they can sneak up there in that hero damage as well. So curious to see how that's going to work out.
I'm very excited. I think it's an interesting game, and I mean, they do have ETC against the Artanis, so if ETC is on point, they could very easily slide in, stop that Artanis, get some zombie walls up around him, and maybe delete him before he can even get the swap out.
I think that's a great pickup there, noticing that they did end up picking the Artanis into kind of the well-known counter of ETC. So whoever is on the ETC is, if they're on point, they can definitely get that slide through, interrupt, root, zombie wall. I mean, they've got the lockdown potential if they do end up getting that slide through to cancel.
The final pick is a Lucio as a support, second support for Pleb Horse. What do you think about that?
Lucio being picked up, I think Lucio Tassadar is a great combination. Currently, I think Lucio just does a incredible amount of sustained healing with Tassadar being able to pick up some of the quote-unquote burst healing by being able to put that shield up, which allows Lucio that time to get that AoE healing out. So I think it could work very well, actually. Very, very well.
All right, Kyle, you want to go ahead and introduce the blue team?
Okay, on unstable side, the blue team, we have Super Dave playing Lei Ming. We have Totem playing Malfurion. We have Liquid playing ETC, Mystic Shroud playing Nazebo, and Shiz playing Zagara.
10 seconds.
And for Pleb Horse Calvary, we have Jeezer on Tassadar, Tanks on Sonya, Hitting Trees on Artanis, Cat Dog on Lucio, and Boutser 13 on Vala. We are going for a little bit of esports here in the middle with an early split of Sonya up top.
One very strong thing.
Neither team wanting to be too aggressive here.
One very strong synergy here is between the Sonya and the Lucio. The Sonya with that speed is very powerful.
Yeah, I could agree wholeheartedly there. Lucio's speed can definitely just bring a different element to a team fight where you historically have teams that can't keep up, all of a sudden are leading the charge. So I do like the speed aspect of Lucio, allowing for some more sustained fighting.
Looks like we're going to have Zagara laning against Sonya in the top.
Well, there it is, the root and zombie wall combo. Unfortunately, they got Tassadar, so he can easily escape out of that and not get hit by Lei Ming, but that is something to keep an eye on going forward for Pleb Horse. They really need to avoid that combo lockdown.
Unstable doing a pretty good job rotating as a 4-man between mid and bottom.
Yeah, and I like what Liquid is doing here. He is staying in the middle in that shrub as an ETC, trying to forewarn his team and possibly getting a slide through irritation. So I do like Liquid staying out a little behind. He doesn't need to wave clear. So I think that's a good strategy on their part.
Sonya's at about half health up top. Zagara's really punishing her.
Yeah, Zagara on creep should be able to basically destroy Sonya. She can run away from the whirlwind as long as she's on creep, and that is basically Sonya's sustain. So that is something that Tanks is going to have to keep an eye on.
But there's not enough follow-up. It's like both teams are still just playing for this bottom point. Blue has it for a second, but not able to keep it. We have a Nazebo versus Vala mid. Nazebo's going to try to get it, but Vala should be pretty easily be able to keep him off of it. Nazebo is completely pushed out of lane mid, so...
Yeah, now looking through specifically at the Vala talents, Kyle, do you see anything strange about taking Hot Pursuit and taking Punishment? Or is that the normal build here for Vala?
Nope, that's pretty much the classic multi-shot build. It's good AoE,
Okay.
good poke. Very good build overall. That's probably the build I would have gone here.
I love seeing the Infest and Medusa Blades coming out of Zagara. That's going to be a very strong push, and that is definitely why Sonya is struggling up top to keep pace with Zagara.
We have a 4v3 bottom. Unstable gonna keep the shrine. Oh, there's a root on Artanis. Nope, no follow-up. It's a lot of poking going on.
Something to note, Unstable did miss a whole wave mid. Obviously, they've been able to keep up with experience still, but definitely don't want to lose sight of getting that mid lane soak.
We have Super Dave versus Buster. Lei Ming versus Vala. Vala's getting really low, playing a bit greedy into a Lei Ming. She might be able to pick up the dragon here. Oh, Vala barely interrupts it.
Yeah, Melf barely surviving bottom as well.
Vala kill. Beautiful. And that's going to
Super
be his
Dave
first
picking
Dragon
up the
Knight
first
going to
dragon.
the Unstable.
Something to note, Zagara is completely through top wall and well, so very good value coming out of Zagara top.
Looks like they're going to get the whole mid wall with Dragon, which that's what you want when you're only level 7.
Yeah, absolutely. And they, with the Nazebo and Zagara pickup, they've been able to apply pressure not only mid with Dragon, but keeping the Pleb horse very spread, very thin, which is allowing the Dragon Knight to stay up a little longer than you would normally see for the first Dragon Knight.
About to see a 4v4 bottom.
Super Dave diving for that well. Little dangerous.
Be careful. Ooh, Lei Ming gets picked off.
I gotta say, Super Dave, when you're that low,
the swap on
the
Nazebo.
dragon,
do they have the follow-up?
Vala escapes the root for the follow-up. Good vault by Boaster 13 to be able to get around that root.
That double kill kept Pleb Horse in line for experience-wise. They were almost behind a full talent and the level 10 talent, so they needed that.
Yeah, I'm really thinking Unstable is going to have to eventually rotate up on Zagara and allow Tanks to really push back some of that creep. I don't think they can fully ignore Zagara or allow Zagara to 1v1 throughout the game. They're going to need to rotate up.
Yeah, Zagara is getting a lot of pressure up top here. Oh, we got a... The silence almost saves Malfurion, but he couldn't quite get out.
It was a great slide-through effort as well from ETC.
We have Nazebo soaking mid, but Pleb Horse is losing that soak. Zagara is still just pressuring top. There really isn't anything Sonya can do against it. Oh, but we have a rotation. Zagara can see it, and she gets out. She gets out perfectly fine.
Yep, they're gonna need to clear that creep in order to get up on her. But I really think they're gonna need to eventually get a few rotations up here. Get her thinking a little bit while she extends out.
5-man rotation of Unstable up into the 4-man of Pleb Horse. Sonya does go down. Vala's doing a lot of damage to their backline.
Oh, a big stage dive by ETC there.
The laser does get off on Totem, but he's going to be able to run away.
Yep,
2 for
Totem
nothing.
recognizing it, gets out immediately. 2 for nothing going in favor of Unstable, as well as Tazdar being able to cap bottom.
For ultimates, we have Archon on Tassadar. We have Leap on Sonya, Purifier Beam on Artanis, Sound Barrier on Lucio, and Strafe on Vala. Were you expecting Archon to come out of Tassadar?
No, I wasn't. And what I was expecting was Sonya to leap onto the back line or Artanis swap into Vala, but they may have recognized that they haven't quite been getting enough finishing damage, so they may have had to switch into that Archon to try and gain some damage.
So out of the 2-man kill top, Unstable does manage to get the second Dragon Knight. They're not going to be doing too much with it, it seems. However, Nazebo, ETC, and Malfurion had a 3-man push bottom and get a fort. And it looks like Zagara is going to get top too.
Yeah, so coming out from the heroic abilities for Unstable, we've got Nidus Network for Zagara, Disintegrate for Lei Ming, Twilight Dream, Gargantuan, and Stage Dive coming out for ETC.
Ooh, we have a Stage Dive into the mid right with the Dragon Knight. Tassadar is able to just shift out of it though.
Yeah, Tassadar was able to shift out of that, but I do think Liquid is getting some great value out of his Stage Dives thus far. Zagara doing a great job of keeping vision. I think that needs to be not understated, especially going up against a Tassadar.
Yeah, the Zagara is getting a lot of value for them. That top lane was solid, very just hers the whole game.
Yep. Yeah, I think
showing in the level experience lead for them.
Oh, absolutely. I think Pleb Horse needed to capitalize on that maybe a touch earlier, because they did end up getting almost a 2-level lead out of the pure dominance in the 4-man and the pure dominance in the top lane.
They do manage to pick off that mid fort. We got 4-man rotation going bottom camp. This throw pit.
Yeah, I think they've recognized where Pleb Horse is, and they did a great job of map awareness and getting there immediately as it spawns, which is something that, when executed well, can really benefit the team. I'm a little afraid on what Pleb Horse is trying to do right now with the 5-man up top. Zagara's just got too much vision. She saw it all coming.
They're gonna get some solid push. They could get some solid push top, but Unstable's just gonna pressure the keep. They have to back.
Yep. They're forcing the back. A great move by Unstable here, recognizing, hey, you go ahead and 5-man up at our fort. We're gonna 5-man or 4-man at your keep. So a great recognition by Unstable, getting that keep wall and really opening it up for a later game push.
When they back, they still choose to leave Sonya top against Zagara. I feel like it's just not working out. They need to try something different, or just go with 5-man rotations and try to get a pick. I really think at this point, especially with Sonya going leap, they need to just start going S5. Sonya cannot solo lane against Zagara, especially with Mutalisk being picked up. He just can't escape the Hydralisk or the Mutalisk. We're about to have a 4v4 bottom. It looks like Unstable's just going to back out and give it up for now. Even though they do have a very solid 16 talent lead, they could easily take this fight.
And it looks like they're setting it up here a little bit. They've isolated a great Twilight Dream.
That silence was perfect, allowing allowing Lei Ming just to destroy that Tassadar.
Yeah, absolutely. I was afraid. I thought maybe Totem used Ice Block a little too early before the Purifying Beam came out, but able to escape and able to land a very aggressive root with the use of the Ice Block there. So I think that was a great 13 talent to pick up, taking Ice Block.
3-for-0 kill should get Unstable the Dragon Knight again, and they're going to look to pressure a keep, if not end the game.
Yeah, Nazeebo wasting no time to get some spiders on bottom keep.
Does look like they're splitting with the Dragon Knight. Oh, no. No, the Dragon Knight is staying mid.
And I think that's been their game plan from the beginning. Taking the Zagara and the Nazeebo is applying pressure everywhere. Making Pleb Horse make the uncomfortable decision of where to go, when to go.
Huge swap of Malfurion, but that Ice Block...
A great Ice Block to buy time, it's just not enough. A very, very good swap by Artanis.
And here's where the Lucio is going to help out huge with the Sonya, just allowing them to chase them down.
Oh,
she misses
missed
the leap.
that leap. Oh, that would have been huge. Very unfortunate. A great idea coming out from Sonya.
But Nazeebo splits off bottom and finishes the keep. They get a keep out of it anyway. Even losing 2 people, that completely works.
Absolutely. A great noticing that. You know, with the Zagara in there, it still leaves Nazeebo to free push, and too much siege damage coming out of Zagara and Nazeebo combination.
We have Tassadar off by himself, just trying to clear up some of Zagara's creep, get rid of that Nidus network.
All right, I'm glad to see Pleb Horse able to successfully invade there. I was getting a little nervous with Super Dave being able to poke in from mid, the zombie walls being able to throw in. I mean, it's a dangerous area to fight even when Unstable was down 2. Oh, it looks like we got a throw pit bottom.
Oh, and Unstable looking to contest here. I don't even think they realize they're there. They're both just going for the same thing. We have the Sonya leap. Artanis just gets melted.
Artanis melted, and the great stage dive to separate Sonya. A very successful stage dive from Liquid, being able to zone out Vala, Tassadar, and Lucio, leaving Sonya high and dry on the left side. A great invasion there from Unstable.
We have a 2-for-0 in favor of Unstable, and it looks like they're going to chase. Nope, just steal a camp, play it safe, keep the push up. I mean, they're almost level 20. This is their game. All they have to do is keep playing it the way they're playing it.
Absolutely. Zagara, a huge double camp push top. That is going to force something, or they're going to end up losing at least that keep wall, maybe the keep, but they're going to have to defend bottom.
This is a great push for them. They have a siege camp front stable. They have a siege camp down here with a bruiser, a ton of pressure, and even if they have to back out here without getting much, top is going to do so much work. Malfurion's in really deep.
A great silence coming out of Totem, but the team recognizing that that was not the fight to take and taking a little bit of a sacrificial lamb out of that.
Lei Ming does get the Sonya kill. See if she can get the resets.
Ooh, Artanis.
Oh, the Artanis kill. Very nice
Super
play from
Dave
Lei.
smelling blood. And I think with Zagara, Lei Ming,
They're
there
looking
is
at
no
30%.
chance.
Yeah.
No chance to
GG.
a great game 1 going over to Unstable. Well, what do you think? Coming out of draft, I really wasn't sure how the double specialist was going to end up, but Unstable pulling off a very dominant, very convincing game 1.
Yeah, I thought that Pleb Horse Cavalry definitely had a very strong draft there. I was not expecting it to go quite so one-sided, but they just let that Nazebo stack out of his mind, and Zagara just was split pushing with there's no rotations to really take care of her. Unstable just played really well. They got the momentum and they just kept it going for the win.
Yeah, definitely. I think game one MVP. I'm gonna give it to Zagara, and maybe that's a, no recognition, no punishment coming out of Pleb Horse, but uh, a huge XP contribution, a huge XP lead that once they got there, they just never gave up.
She had 19,000 XP contributed by herself to Sonya's 12,000. Like, that's a huge difference. And she had 145,000 siege damage, no deaths. She got that split pushing. She saw that she wasn't getting contested. They weren't rotating on her, and she just took advantage of it.
Yeah, she did a great job of keeping the creep down, being able to see when the rotations were coming up. A great use out of the Nidus canals all game. Um, just a very dominant performance coming out of Shiz. Um, very impressive. You don't see Zagara very often, but I'm a believer.
On Pleb Horse's side, though, hitting trees in Artanis, he got some fantastic swaps. There's just the double ice blocks to save them. They just couldn't quite get the follow up, but the swaps were on point for most of that game.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Artanis did a great job of trying to present those kills. Um, I think it may have just been a problem of not quite enough follow-on damage, relying heavily on Vala to do that damage, or Tasdar when Archon is popped, but you don't necessarily want to pop Archon just for a swap. So I think it was a little lacking in the follow-on damage after the swap that eventually ended up hurting Pleb Horse Cavalry.
Nick, we haven't heard from you much. What did you think about the game?
Man, yeah, I didn't even get a single word in during that game. I thought that the Zagara just really dominated that top lane. Kept Sonya pushed back the whole time and got really good value. Was able to push that fort down by herself while the dragon was distracting them. While the first dragon was distracting them. I did like the plan of split pushing with when they got the Dragonite, because the Dragonite drew most of Pleb Horse Calvary's attention towards it, and the Nazebo and Zagara pushing in opposite lanes was able to get a lot of value. And I think the fatal mistake, well, I don't know if it was necessarily the fatal mistake, but when they were fighting 4v5, when Pleb Horse was fighting 4v5, and they kept Tassadar in the bottom to capture that shrine, I think that's really when the game turned, because they were just about even at like level 10, and not having Tassadar there was huge.
Yeah, that was a huge turning point. And, I think the initial idea was to have Tassadar split, keep, gaining in that XP. And I'm not sure if they just got caught in an engage or if Unstable was able to force an engage on them there. But I agree that fight in the top lane, kind of in those bushes, was a huge turning point, an unfortunate fight to take for Pleb Horse.
You two really need to learn how to join the game, so I don't have to keep inviting.
Why would I learn? You're doing a great job.
Oh, because I almost started the game without you guys.
Oh, that would have been awkward.
To be honest, I wasn't sure if it was a best of 3 or a best of 1, so I was waiting for someone just to say
nope.
that.
It is best of 3.